Hey, it's me, Baba33, and this is a little video on how Yooka-Laylee possibly created the idea of Super Mario Odyssey. Well, maybe not the idea, but gave Nintendo the inspiration to make another open world Mario game. Now, before I begin my little theory here, I just want to say I know some of you may be thinking, oh, Nintendo made this open world game because the fans been wanting it for years, and that's definitely true. I'm not going to deny that, but I feel like Nintendo needed a little more push to, go, 100% with this open world idea of Super Mario Odyssey. And here's why. But first, a little history. The first two open world Mario games were Super Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine. Now, Super Mario 64 does not need any introduction. It pretty much revolutionized 3D gaming in general, especially the platformer. And Super Mario Sunshine, it's kind of a mixed bag among fans. I mean, some people claim it to be this underrated gem that deserves to be remade or brought to the virtual console, while others think it's probably an alright game. I guess technically it could be the reverse 3D Mario game by default, but that's pretty much the last open world game before the announcement of Mario Odyssey. Now, I think the sales of Mario Sunshine did pretty well. Even though the GameCube was the second lowest selling console, it was still a profitable console, and I'm pretty sure that the game helped move some hardware. So I think the strategy of Nintendo moving away from open world gaming is not because of sales. It was most likely because people were not as interested as open world games, or at least in the 3D platformer, as they used to be in the past. Now, whatever the reason is, the fact is that Nintendo decided to move away from the open world games and go more linear, starting with Super Mario Galaxy. Now, I think the main reason Nintendo made this decision is that it's easier to develop, especially considering Super Mario Galaxy has you playing with the gravity effects. And I'm not going to say creating a 3D open world with Super Mario Galaxy engine is impossible, but I'm going to assume that it's much more time consuming than making it more linear. Now, Super Mario Galaxy, pretty much you pick a mission, go to pretty much a stage that's pretty linear for the most part. You can do a little exploration, but there's really no big rewards, maybe like an extra life or more coins. But your main mission is to pretty much get the star, either by helping the citizens around the galaxy, or just getting to the goal, which is the star. Now, the reason why I think making a linear Mario game is easier than making an open world Mario game is because Nintendo already pretty much made a sequel, Super Mario Galaxy 2, like right after Super Mario Galaxy. It was originally going to call Super Mario Galaxy More, and pretty much Nintendo's online for DLC was not very good, so they pretty much made it a full retail game and called it Super Mario Galaxy 2. And of course, that was successful as well. And that leads into the other two games, well, in the 3D Mario games at least, that is Super Mario 3D Land and Super Mario World. And Super Mario 3D Land pretty much helped the Nintendo 3DS become more successful after a slow start. Well, that and a price cut also helped. But Super Mario 3D Land also did pretty well. Now, here's when things start to slow down with Super Mario 3D World. Now, this game appeared, 1 year after the Nintendo Switch launch, so it's not too long. But even though the game did probably well on its own and probably moved some hardware, as well, I don't think it did as well in comparison to the other 3D Mario games, like just comparing Super Mario 3D Land and 3D World, Super Mario 3D Land sold 4.9 million in the first 10 weeks after its release, and as a whole, it sold a little over 10 million, while Super Mario 3D World sold 1.8 million in its first 10 weeks, and as a whole, it sold about 5 to 6 million, give or take. And although that's probably not bad numbers on its own, in comparison, and pretty much, after the Wii U became this huge Nintendo flop, it's pretty much a sign that a game like this is not going to sell pretty well on console. Now, you can also debate that the Nintendo Wii U has some poor marketing and people did not know this was an actual new console, or they didn't like the concept, and that definitely could have played a part. I'm not going to deny that, but at the same time, I think this is when Nintendo's starting to try to come up with a new idea and maybe debate whether or not to go back to an open world Mario game. Now, with the low sales of Super Mario 3D World, well, comparison to the other 3D Mario games, of course, and the huge demands of Nintendo fans wanting a Mario game that is similar to Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine, I don't think Nintendo was 100% committed to make a game like Super Mario Odyssey until the Yooka-Laylee Kickstarter. Now, Playtonic Games, the developers of Yooka-Laylee, is consisted of old Nintendo, well, rarer to be more specific, employees who made Banjo-Kazooie and Donkey Kong 64. And this game, Yooka-Laylee, is pretty much marketed as a spiritual successor of Banjo-Kazooie. It plays pretty similar to it. And once that Kickstarter launched in May 2015, pretty much they made it go like under an hour and got £1 million, which I'm not sure how much is that in American currency, but that's a lot of money, and they got that under a day, and as a whole they got about £2 million. It was the fastest to reach its goal in the UK, and it was gaining notice everywhere, and it's really hard not to imagine Nintendo seeing this. I mean, how could you not? I'm sure at this point Nintendo saw that and they were definitely inspired to make its own 3D open world Mario game. Now, you could probably say that there's other Kickstarter games that was a 3D open world platformer, like a Hat in Time and Freeze Me. I'm not sure what happened to the Hat in Time. I don't really keep up with that one, but Freeze Me did get a release on the Wii U eShop. But I don't think that was really enough to open Nintendo eyes and go be fully committed with the open world idea. I think Yooka-Laylee pretty much pushed Nintendo 100% in that direction, and it does seem like Nintendo kind of paid a little tribute to them with the eyes on the Mario's hat. Railroad used to be known as putting eyeballs on any random object and carded character. I mean, it could be coincidence, maybe, but at the same time, I wouldn't be too surprised if it was a little tribute to them. Before I end this video, I just want to say I'm not saying that Mario Odyssey wouldn't exist if Yooka-Laylee didn't exist. I just think that Mario Odyssey would have been a different game if Yooka-Laylee didn't happen. Like, I still think the mechanic would still be there if Mario joined his head and using it as a platform, but I think the level design would have been a bit more restricted, limited, a bit linear, similar to Mario Galaxy or the 3D Land or World games. I mean, Nintendo, even though we're seeing a brand new Nintendo this year with a different attitude, or at least a different feel of their marketing, they do like to play it safe with this important franchise like Mario. But with that being said, whether or not Yooka-Laylee actually did anything, it's really not hard to imagine that they may have pushed Nintendo in that direction. But, that's just a little theory of mine. If you agree with my theory or want to add something to it, feel free in the comments, or even if you disagree, feel free to call me out. But, it's just a little fun idea I just had, while working. And hopefully you at least find my idea entertaining at the very least. This is me, Baba Daddy Dre, and I catch you guys later.